What's going on? Jake here with Uncommon EDC, and in this video I'm checking out the Kansept Warrior, in particular the Going Gear exclusive version, which is $198 over on their site. Still in stock right now, but seems to be pretty limited stock at this point. So if you want this particular version, I would grab it sooner than later, but there is a $77 version you can grab that's not an exclusive. And so $77 to $198 is a pretty significant price jump, but you're getting an upgrade in materials pretty much across the board. Starting in that blade, which goes from D2 to S35VN, you get the drop point style blade on this one. The original had the option between the drop point or the tanto. This one's only in that drop point. But you move down to the bolster, it goes from aluminum to titanium, and to the inlay goes from G10 to a copper infused carbon fiber, which looks really great, but does smell like copper, and that smell does transfer to your hand, which I don't love. It just smells like you've been handling pennies all day. So that's a little bit annoying, but I think it came out really good. It's super sleek looking knife and just overall really classy looking in my opinion. One other complaint I do have, it hasn't been an issue lately, but when I did get it, you can see it probably locks up about 15-20%, which is on the lower side, but not something that's super concerning. But when I got it, I noticed that it didn't always lock when I flipped it open, and so it wasn't a lot of the time, but I ended up flipping it 100 times and keeping track of how many times it didn't lock. It was 13, so 13% of the time is a pretty significant number. It's not just like a random one-off. That's a pretty real number. And so I disassembled it to try and see if I can get to the bottom of why that was happening. I didn't ever figure it out, but since I reassembled it, it has never happened again. I did another 100 flips, 100% of the time it locked up, and as I've kind of fidgeted with it since then, have not had any issues. So not really counting that against it, because it does seem like it was just kind of a random one-off. I haven't heard a lot of complaints about that from other people in the community, and it hasn't happened again, so I'm not anticipating it being a major problem going forward now that it's reassembled. But beyond that, it's a really great knife. Those are my two gripes about it. Everything else I really like. It's got a 3.46 inch blade, which doesn't lose a lot of the cutting edge to the sharpening tool. I wouldn't have minded a little bit of a larger sharpening tool. It's pretty small, but the blade has a nice usable edge on it. Relatively thick too, so 0.15 inches, which is a little bit thicker than what I typically review. A lot of times you'll see 0.1 inches, sometimes even a little bit less than that, up to about 0.12 or 0.13, so 0.15 on this one. It's a little bit thicker, but it's not making the handle significantly thicker. That handle's only 0.51 inches, which is pretty normal and typical. So even though you're getting a thicker blade, you're just keeping that kind of slimmer profile still. The handle on this is 4.55 inches, bringing the overall length to 8.02. Really comfortable four-finger grip on there. The pocket clip's kind of sitting perfectly under my knuckle where you don't really feel it whatsoever. And the jimping on here, although it doesn't go all the way across the blade, it has kind of a unique look to it. Because of that, it's still effective and grippy and feels good in the hand. It is a frame lock instead of a liner lock, which you get on that $77 version. And the hardware is also upgraded, so you get this titanium backspacer, which adds that lanyard hole, as well as a milled titanium pocket clip, which I think looks really good and should be reversible, although I haven't actually tried reversing it. It's designed by Kim Ning, who I'm not familiar with, but did a really great job. Like I said in the beginning, I think this is a pretty sleek looking knife, and aesthetically really enjoy it. Ergonomically enjoy it as well. It's super comfortable while looking good, and the billboarding's pretty minimal as well. So you got the Kansept logo on this side, the Going Gear exclusive logo on this side, and then right up against the handle you have Warrior on this side and S35VN on this side. So really minimal there, and just kind of kept it simple, which I like. But overall, super happy with this knife. Had that minor issue in the beginning, but that did end up getting resolved. If you have this knife, let me know if you had that same issue. I'm curious if it was more widespread or if I just got kind of a bad example of it, but glad that worked out because I really do like this knife quite a bit besides that. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, or if you have that original $77 version, how it compares, what you think of that. And as always, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification button. And I hope you have a great one. Take care.